Alright, boys, it's happened, man. The Titan event has gone live. The Fusion event after the Fusion event has gone live. It's more an apt name for this, where you're going to be able to pick up all kinds of little freebies. Man, the Donny Perfect Soul is very, very cheap and affordable to get your hands on if you're just going to go for the 3-star, which is great. You also have the opportunity to pick up a couple relics, 1 epic, 1 legendary, couple of legendary skill tomes in this rewards path, as well as the big old 5-star Perfect Soul for Donny as well, if you are so inclined to go for that. We're going to talk about what kind of costs are going to be required for you to get this 5-star Perfect Soul and how worth it actually is. Spoilers, man, but I personally wouldn't bother going for the 5-star soul. We're going to be talking about the quality of the relic and whether this relic is worth going for as well, man. The Last Laugh Amulets. Before we get to all of that and more, and what kind of shards and stuff you're going to require to get through this Titan event if you're going to push for it, and how much you should just skip, which, you know, there's also an option. Hey man, if you're looking to start off a new raid account, make sure to get that done by using the beginner promo link that is down below this video to kickstart your new raid account with Basilios Horanus as your day 1 starter legendary. And also, of course, make sure to get that done before October 30th, while the Michelangelo Champion Chase, free login reward champion chase, that is still available inside of the game. So you secure your triple legendary start when creating a new raid account, man. Okay. Let's do this, man. So, first and foremost, the 3-star soul for Donny. Very, very affordable at just 600 points, man. That's great. Why? You know, it gives you some attack, it gives you some health, it gives you some defense stats, which is kind of all you really want on Donny. Going all the way in for the 5-star Donny Perfect Soul. I mean, I might end up doing it anyway on my main account because I blast so many events as is on my main account. But on my free-to-play, yeah, there's no way. Donny is a great champion, very, very powerful champion. Actually, so if you did get the fusion done, great for you. But you just kind of build him with high speed. He doesn't need accuracy at all. And so that very, very much discounts the amount of power that you get anyway from locking in a higher rank soul, where a 5-star soul is going to give you a whole bunch of pointless accuracy that you don't need on the Donatello. The resistance can be useful, don't get me wrong. Would not consider it mandatory, however, for building your Donatello optimally, for example, you know? And yeah, having a higher star soul is going to get you higher quality blessing of the champion and all of that, but just not the highest priority, man, for Donatello. So do not feel pressured to go for the 1500 point reward in this Titan event. The next sort of big chunky reward that you might want to aim for, well, in that case, you could actually just stop at 1400 points if you are planning on pulling a whole bunch of shards over the next couple of weeks and you've got a lot of shards still left over somehow, like a spender in the game or whatever. You could also stop with the mythical skill tome and be just fine with that as well. But if you're going to go all that way, then you might as well just get the 5-star soul. The next milestone reward that you might realistically want to stop on, if you're planning on pulling on one of the shard pulling events for this Titan event over the next couple of weeks, could then be the Last Laugh Amulet, right? Relatively affordable, to be honest, coming in at a 1,000 point cost. And you'll also be grabbing yourself a legendary skill book just before the Last Laugh Amulet as well, so the 1,000 point cost is like a great place to stop at as well, without going too mental. Now, the Last Laugh Amulet, in terms of flat stats, I'll just hide my camera for 1 second, offers plus attack, plus HP, and then crit damage right at the very end. And so that sucks a little bit. The stats on this thing are not the best, but it is offering that new buff type where it has a 30% chance to activate a delay effect when receiving fatal damage on a 3-turn cooldown. I didn't actually need to hide my camera at all, but there you do go. 3 gem slots as well is very, very nice. And it's going to be said that upgrading the Last Laugh Amulet just drastically increase the effect chance of this delay effect going off. Even if you just upgrade it a few times, getting it up to a 60% chance to apply this delay effect is pretty good. The delay effect allows you to avoid fatal damage and effectively just delays a fatal hit from killing the wearer of this amulet until next turn. And there's a couple of little caveats and stuff to this delay effect rule and ways that the enemy can play around it and stuff like that. But whatever, like that's the gist of it. It's very, very tough to judge, to be honest, how powerful the delay effect is actually going to be. It's basically a PvP relic. That's something to bear in mind as well. And so, to be honest, I think a lot of people could end up just skipping out on this relic reward as well and really taking it easy in this Smart Fella Titan event because, you know, PvP is not the biggest deal for a lot of folks. And so if you were actually skipping on the Last Laugh Amulet as well, what is the next milestone that you could then stop at? I'd recommend that you at least try and go for the Immortal Soulstone on most accounts. 840 Titan event points. You can probably get this without pulling a single shard during this event as well, which is pretty cool. And if you don't go for the Immortal Soulstone and you just really want to take it easy, you could honestly just skip out on everything. Like, if you didn't even do the Donatello fusion, you could just stop at like 540 points and just grab an epic book and a 5-star haste glyph and call it a day, right? And really, really hard skip on this event. I think it's a very, very skippable Titan event, honestly. Based on like the relic reward, that's kind of niche, and then based on the 5-star soul that you don't really need to get, even if you did do the Donny fusion, there's a lot of skip potential with this, which... we can all breathe a bit of a sigh of relief, man. You can go as hard into this Titan event as you want. Now, that said, man, upcoming shard events, these are going to be bloody crucial for taking on this Titan event. This upcoming weekend, okay, we have a champion chase coming up that is going to be tied to this Smart Fella Titan event, and I'd recommend that, honestly, it's better to pull in the early shard pulling events in a Titan event if you're going to go for some of these higher tier rewards. It's better to pull for these events early rather than be left panicking and scrambling towards the end of the Smart Fella Titan event. And so what we've got right here is the Plarium Play calendar, which is as much of the calendar as we can see right now, at least. And you can see right here that on Friday the 5th, so as we are heading towards this upcoming weekend in just a couple of days, there's going to be a champion chase starting right here, and it is going to be awarding... pizza points. Okay, I just noticed that. The Titan event icon right here is literally just a little pizza, which I absolutely love. But yeah, we're heading towards this champion chase tournament. What kind of shards are you going to need for this champion chase? Well, if you've been keeping track of in-game schedules and stuff like that, it is going to be a 2x event on ancient shards, almost definitely going into this Titan event. It could be like a random surprise primal shard event or something, but we are on schedule, on track to have a 2x event for ancient shards during this Titan event and during that upcoming champion chase. Now, because the Titan event goes on for over 2.5 weeks, that means that there's going to be another champion chase event towards the end of this Titan event, like 2.5 weeks from now, where there's also going to be a 2x event on Void Shards. And it's almost definite that, that final champion chase event in 2.5 weeks from now is probably going to give Titan event points as well. I'm guessing. Don't rely on this. Don't lean on this. I'd recommend that if you are going to pull for one of these shard pulling events during the Titan event, that you do it with your ancient shards. Because, yeah, we know for a fact that's going to give Titan event points. We do not know at this time if pulling on the 2x for Void Shards in 2.5 weeks from now is also going to give Titan event points. It probably will, but just in case, okay? So it's going to be ancient shards and Void Shards that you require for the 2 champion chase tournaments that are going to be active during this Titan event. And honestly, Sacred Shards as well are probably going to be a requirement at some point. Don't pull your Sacred Shards during this Titan event, bro. There will probably be a summon rush about 8 or 9 days from now, okay? There's going to be some kind of summon rush event during the Titan event that gives Titan event points 8 or 9 days from now. I'm guessing, again, I'm predicting based on past patterns. Bro, don't be pulling your Sacred Shards for this Titan event. You're going to need these almost definitely for something like an upcoming Deck of Fate or Hero's Path or something to get your hands on one of the other turtles, right? Probably. These are all predictions, but you get your hands on Raphael or Leonardo. People are heavily expecting a big Soulstone pulling event or a big Sacred Shard pulling event to get your hands on one or more of those champs. And if, 8 or 9 days from now, a Summon Rush event starts that is demanding you to use your Sacred Shards to get that event done for a 5-star soul for Donatello, yeah, probably not worth it. You're probably better off holding onto your shards to try and secure one of the other turtles if you have those shards to spare either way. Now, speaking of Soulstone pulling events, we've got another event to touch on right here. Not right here, in the tournament section. There is currently a Soul Chase tournament active and a 2x event on Mortal Soulstones for getting this done. Now, if you're sitting on 150 plus 200 Mortal Soulstones, you might want to go ahead and pull 100 of them and sort of plow through this tournament a little bit and pick up all kinds of relic crafting materials. That is just a happy little tournament. That said, one I just mentioned, man, it's been a while since we've had a guaranteed Legendary Champion Deck of Fate event, and everybody's expecting a guaranteed Legendary Champion Deck of Fate event for either Leo or for Raphael, right, from the Turtles event. And so just be very, very careful with your Soul Stones, even your Mortal Soul Stones, right? I don't want to see you sitting on like, oh, well, I'm sitting on like 25 Immortal Soul Stones, which is not enough to finish a Deck of Fate on its own. It's usually like between, 35 and 40 or something Immortal Soul Stones required to get through a Deck of Fate and to actually flip all of the cards, and so just be aware of that. So if you're sitting on like 25 Immortal Soul Stones, not enough to finish the Deck of Fate, and like 50, 60, 70 Mortal Soul Stones, don't go pulling your Mortal Soul Stones during this 2x event. It's a pretty good 2x event for Mortal Soul Stones, and just because it syncs up with the tournament as well, so it can be tempting, but and Molten Soul Stones are generally not good to pull during a Deck of Fate. Like, they're usually worth not very many points, and so be aware of that. But like 100 Mortal Soul Stones lying around, it can be enough to get you across the line if you were otherwise close to finishing a Deck of Fate, but you don't quite have enough Immortals, right? So just judge your account and be very, very careful with these resources. On my main account, I'm going to be pulling like crazy. I'm sitting on a pretty good amount of mortals here. And so, yeah, I'm going to pull for this champ chase, and I've got enough immortals to guarantee that I can pretty comfortably get through a Deck of Fate if and when it eventually pops up. But on my free-to-play account, I'm sitting on like, I don't know, 28 or 30 Immortal Soul Stones. Yeah, I'm not pulling my mortals, dude. I'm keeping all of those safe on my free-to-play account just in case I need them to get across the line in a future Deck of Fate event. You know what I'm saying? It's too big of a risk on the free-to-play for me to be pulling for those, and it might just be that way for you as well. So just be careful. As for other events to expect, again, just expect it to be very, very Fusion-esque, right? Things like dungeon tournaments, dungeon divers events, stuff are probably in the pipeline as well that are going to give Smart Fella Titan events. Yeah, it's just a fusion after a fusion at the end of the day, but the good news is, as we've already covered, a lot of this is very, very skippable, which is bloody lovely. I'm going to be going for like the 3-star soul, and then some, maybe try and get the Immortal Soul Stone on my free-to-play account. On my main account, yeah, I'll go pretty deep. I'd be happy with the 1,300 points for the Legendary Tome, but I might end up just going all the way for the Donny Perfect Soul. Again, 250 points in this Titan event are skippable. For most people, that's going to be skipping on, I think at least, the Summon Rush, which will appear somewhere around the middle of the Smart Fella Titan event. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope this was just a little bit helpful and was a bit of a relief to a lot of people who just want to kind of skip out on this event and save a bunch of their resources. I think a lot of this is really quite skippable, so that's good at least. Hey man, if you're looking to create a new raid account, man, get that done right now by using the beginner promo link down below this video, the top of the video description box, man. Click on that link and use that link to create a new raid account for all of the free stuff that you see on screen right now. I'm going to go back to bed a little bit because I slept like 3 hours and got up super early to crank out this event video. And I'm going to catch all of you all a tad bit later, man.